So what we're going to do is we will have a very quick introduction to Excel. It is not the only program out there to do these sort of spreadsheet calculations, but it's probably the best known. And Excel is very nifty because it is basically a map in its own right. Every cell in Excel has a unique address. Right now I'm clicking on the first one, and its address is A1. It's always an alphanumerical combination between a letter and a number. And now I'm going to go 3 cells to the right and 3 cells down, and we've clicked on cell C3. The advantage of that is that we can use these cells to address them from anywhere else in the spreadsheet. So for example, if I put 2 numbers here in B2, something like 10 and 15, and skip a couple of cells and go to B5, I can type equal sign and click on B2, add to that, click on B3. When I hit enter, I have the result of the addition of 10 and 15 residing in cells B2 and B3. And if you just look at the cell, you see the answer, 25, but if you click on it and look up here in the title bar, you can see that we're adding not just the numbers 10 and 15, but whatever is in these 2 cells to the result in B5. And if you click on the title bar, Excel very handily highlights with color the different cells that it's addressing. So the real advantage of this is I can go back after the fact, and rather than 10 and 15, put 100 and 1500. When I hit enter, the result is 1600. So I basically built myself a little personal addition calculator. We're going to go back and erase these results and numbers. So the reason why we're taking the time to talk about this is because we can do the distance calculations as well. So if I put here points and go down and say point A, point B, point C, point D, and then go up here and say X and Y for the coordinates, then I can go back and put different numbers, 12 and 4, 3 and 8, oops, it should be 8 here. We can say 107, and the last one is going to be 2 and 2. So when we go back to our calculation here for distance, which we're labeling, we can say equal sign again. We're going to use the abbreviation for square root, which is SQRT, open a parenthesis, open another parenthesis. Now we will put x2 minus x1, close the parenthesis, raise that to the second power, add to that the difference between the y's as well, which would be d5 minus d4, close the parenthesis, raise that to the second power, close the parenthesis, and you can see how Excel highlights that. And when we hit enter, we have the result, which in this case ends up being 9.85 units or so. So again, if we just look at the result, we see the numerical solution of that formula, but if you highlight the cell and you go into the title area, you can see the formula, the distance formula that we built in. And again, Excel highlights the cells that participate in that calculation. Well, then from here on, we can just drag this down and calculate different values. And it's always a good idea to go back and check and see if the calculation is correct. And there are a number of ways that this can be arranged as well. If you only have 2 points, we can just erase this information. And here is our calculation for points A and B. If you have more, there are a number of other arrangements that you can do as well. So that part of Excel is very handy. We're going to be using other parts later in the semester as well. That's all for now.